This Day in Sports History. And welcome back to This Day in Sports History, a member of the Sports History Network. It's September 18th, and on this day in 1982, it was a father versus son battle on the gridiron. John Elway was the senior quarterback for Stanford on his way to finishing second in the Heisman voting to Georgia's Herschel Walker in 1982. His dad, Jack, was the head coach of the San Jose State Spartans. Only 15 miles separated Palo Alto from San Jose, and this family feud was one without any malice. John's Stanford team had won the 1979 and 80 matchups. Jack's Spartans had taken the win in 81. CBS covered this game in 82, and they did a feature piece with the Elway family that ran before the game, so there was a whole lot of love and a healthy respect between father and son that came through in the story. But they were both hyper-competitive, and of course, they both wanted to win this final matchup in the father-son affair. This game was the second on the schedule for both teams, and it was played in Palo Alto. 57,000 piled into Stanford's stadium for this one. The Cardinal were the heavy favorites, but the Spartans scooted out to a 14-0 lead. But Elway started slinging it all over the field in the first and second quarters, and Stanford tied the game at 14, and then John unleashed another downfield laser on this play.
Third down, 7 to go. Ball on the 48. Shotgun. Moore is back there with Elway to give him some help. Elway has a receiver. It's Harry. 48 yards and a touchdown for Elway to Harry.
Late in the fourth quarter, the Cardinal led 31-28, and they had the football. But John's hopes of spoiling Dad's day were upended by a fumble deep in Cardinal territory, and then a quick San Jose State score.
Taylor. And Iglesias is in there now. Clarkson, touchdown, Spartans. The Spartans are up on top again.
Despite an amazing scramble on the final series, Elway was not able to put together a miracle game-winning drive in this one, as he did on multiple occasions in his NFL career. The Spartans won 35-31, and the Elway versus Elway series ended 2 games apiece. This episode is brought to you in part by McFarland Books and their new release, Building the Milwaukee Bucks by Jordan Tresky.
What does it take to build an NBA champion from scratch? Building the Milwaukee Bucks takes you behind the scenes, boardrooms, locker rooms, and courtside to see how Milwaukee went from no team to raising the championship trophy in just 3 years. With legends like Kareem, Oscar, Wayne Embry, Larry Costello, and much more leading the charge. This is the story every basketball fan should know. Get your copy of Building the Milwaukee Bucks at your favorite bookstore.
This episode is brought to you by the Sterling Soap Company. Sterling Soap is 100% natural, and with a variety of bath soaps, shave soaps, beard balm, lotions, cologne, and many more personal care products in a large variety of scents, you're sure to find something that's perfect for you or that special someone in your life. Check them out at sterlingsoap.com. On this day in 1988, the King won for the final time. This was the Crest Star Classic on the Senior Tour played at the Hermitage in Richmond, Virginia. The then 59-year-old Arnold Palmer had not won a golf tournament in 3 years, but he found himself in the hunt with 3 others: Lee Elder, Jim Faree, and Larry Mowry. When he came to the back 9 on the final day, he told himself he just wanted to shoot under par for the closing holes. He did. He shot a 1 under 35, and he won by 4 shots. It was Palmer's 10th win on the Champions Tour that went along with the 62 he had on the PGA Tour that included 7 majors. Palmer would continue to play competitively for several more years until October 13, 2006, when he played 4 holes in a senior PGA event and then withdrew. Now, in true Palmer class act fashion, he didn't walk off the course that day in 2006. He knew people were there to see him play a round of golf. But he walked the fairways anyway, and he holed out his putts, but did not record his score on the final 14 holes. On this day in 1999, A 35-year-old rookie debuted in the majors and inspired a movie. It's one of those amazing stories that if it didn't actually happen and you saw a movie about it, you'd say, that is too fantastical. There's no way that could ever happen. Maybe back in the 1800s or the 1940s when the younger guys were off fighting the war, but the end of the 20th century? Nah, that could never happen. And yet, it did. And then it became a Disney movie. Jim Morris didn't exactly come out of nowhere. He'd been a first-round draft pick by the Milwaukee Brewers out of junior college back in 1983. He never really got his chance, though, spending a lot of time on buses, making a little bit of money, watching other kids move up and move on. And then the injuries came. He blew out his shoulder. He had major elbow surgery. By 1987, the dream had faded. Reality set in, and he settled down with his wife Lori in San Angelo, Texas. He kept his arm limber by throwing batting practice to the guys on the Howard Payne University team, and the velocity on his fastball started to come back a little bit. So much so that the Chicago White Sox gave him another chance in 1989. Facing young, hungry Lions in single-A ball, his 90-mile-an-hour fastball was raw meat they dug their teeth into and ripped to shreds. Morris retired for the second time. He decided to go back to college, and while he was at Angelo State, he joined the football team and he did some punting. As a 28-year-old sophomore in 1992, he actually led the nation in punting at the D2 level, averaging 45 yards a kick, and he earned D2 All-American honors. So that's all to say that he was out there, but, just life happened, and he kind of moved on. There wasn't some kind of magic bean scenario. He was a good athlete. He became the father to 3 kids and settled in as the science teacher at Reagan County High School in Big Lake, Texas. And if you've seen the movie, then you know what happens next. Morris was pitching batting practice to his high school guys and still bringing the heat. His varsity players were impressed with him, and they encouraged him to pursue his dream just like Morris was encouraging them to pursue theirs. So they made a pact. If Reagan County won the district title, then Morris had to go to a major league tryout. So when Reagan won the district title on June 19, 1999, Morris was obligated to go find a tryout. But how do you do that when your wife works full-time and your 3 kids are at home during the summer? Well, you take your 3 kids with you. On a hot, humid Texas summer afternoon, Morris showed up for a Tampa Bay Devil Rays tryout in Brownwood. Rays scout Doug Gassaway was tired. He was questioning his life choices at that point, watching scrub after scrub live out their baseball fantasy in front of him. And here came 35-year-old Jim Morris, 3 kids in tow. What the hell was this? Gassaway was eager to get back in his air-conditioned car and be on his way back to Florida. The first pitch that Morris threw, though, hit 94 on the radar gun. Well, that ain't right, Gassaway thought. He looked at the radar gun as if something was wrong. Maybe it, like him, had been out in the sun too long. Morris's next pitch came in at 96 miles per hour. Hey, something wrong with this thing? He asked the guy next to him. Nope, working fine. Next one, 95. Then a string of 12 straight in the upper 90s. Gassaway was absolutely shocked. He'd traveled most of the backcountry roads of the U.S., and he had never seen anybody throwing smoke like this at a tryout. The Rays wanted another look in a couple of days with more people watching. Morris impressed them a second time, and he signed a contract to play in the minor leagues again. He worked off a few pounds, and then he went to Double-A Orlando. After 3 games, his ERA was 1.80. He was moved up to Triple-A Durham in North Carolina. He appeared in 18 games there and pitched solidly. When the Bulls' season ended, he figured that was it. He packed up his truck and he started plotting a route back to Texas. But the Rays weren't done with him yet. He was going to Texas all right, but he was going to be in Arlington when Tampa played the Rangers. First game, September 18th. Lori and the kids made the 4-hour drive and they were in the seats that night. Lori said the tears started flowing when she caught sight of her husband in the bullpen before the game. Bobby Witt got the start for the D-Rays. He went 6 innings, struck out 5, walked 3, gave up 6 runs, 5 of them earned. In the 7th, trailing 6-1, Jeff Sparks was brought out of the pen and he pitched an inning and 2/3. And then Rays manager Larry Rothschild made the move. He brought Jim Morris, the 35-year-old rookie wearing number 63, in to pitch. In front of 37,000, Morris made his debut in the majors, fulfilling the dream that started 16 years earlier. At the plate for the Rangers was Royce Clayton, the 8th man in the lineup, a .276 hitter with 9 homers on the year, but he was 0 for 3 on the night.
Made it as high as Class A ball, and that was it. His final year, 1987. Here it is, 1999. After about 10 years as a high school baseball coach, most recently Reagan County out in West Texas, got a tryout with the Devil Rays in June, and here he is pitching in the big leagues in September. A swing and a strike one, his first major league pitch.
95 miles an hour.
There it is for you.
So anyone that doesn't believe it, there it is on the radar gun.
Royce then fouled off a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and then on the 0-2, he got Clayton to bite on some high cheddar for the strikeout. Tampa could not muster any runs in the top half of the 9th, and so the game ended with Morris just facing the one-hitter. 2 nights later, the team was in Anaheim. He was brought in the 8th inning again, his team trailing 10-5. He got Jim Edmonds and Mo Vaughn to fly out to center, and then got Tim Salmon to ground out to short for a 1-2-3 inning. He would pitch in 3 more games in the tail end of the '99 season. He came back in 2000 and pitched in 16 games, finishing with a 4.35 ERA. Elbow pain at the end of the season forced his 3rd and final retirement. Movie studios learned of Morris's story soon after his debut on this day and contacted the Devil Rays to start negotiations. Disney won the rights to the story, and in March of 2002, The Rookie, starring Dennis Quaid as Morris, debuted in theaters. Time now for today's That's Got Nothing to Do with Sports fun fact. Gummy worms technically have more bones than actual worms. Gummy worms are made from gelatin, you see, which is made up of ground-up animal bones, skin, and connective tissues, while real-life worms don't have any bones at all. This has been an original Thrive Suite production.